It's so early. You guys want to get some coffee or something?
Can I get a cup of coffee? Black? Can't you see we talking? White?
Even little kids in Mexico drink coffee.
Well, I'm not a little kid in Mexico, okay?
That is the best coffee I've ever tasted.
A damn fine cup of coffee.
You want a cup of coffee?
No coffee.
Coffee drinker, huh?
Maybe we could grab some coffee?
Coffee, 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 coffee.
God damn, Jimmy. This is some serious gourmet shit. Me and Vincent would have been satisfied with some freeze-dried Taster's Choice, right? And he springs this serious gourmet shit on us.
Bam, 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 bam. Anyway. Oh, don't you roll away from me. I need my ibuprofen. Started to roll away from me. I'm like, God damn it, no. Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Fantastic Thursday. A morning coffee with, we refer to it also as post hump day. No, we don't. Nobody calls it. Good morning, everybody. I see Penny is in the house. First in the house. Good morning. Bill Barkley, second. Let's see. Chris is here. Hi, Chris. The show attempts to be kind of Lovecraftian, but it's when you're in the hands of writers that are, I'll get into it. We're still waiting for Anima. She was having some internet issues. Hopefully she'll be here because she had a distinct reaction to this show too. And I was disappointed because I felt like despite some of the stupid shit at the beginning, it was trying to go somewhere all the way up to episode 4. And then it was like they fired all the writers and brought in some new people that don't know how to write. And they completely derailed the show in the 5th episode. And in the 6th episode, it has this clunky fucking ending. And I love the visual. Don't get me wrong. I like the visual of the final moment on the show. The very final shot is actually really interesting. But that's not, nobody would fucking act the way that character does at the end of the show. There's going to be spoilers abound because we're going to break down the show a little bit. We're not going to go into great detail. Just simply going to really kind of tell you what the story is and explain to you why we think it kind of sucked, because it shouldn't have sucked. This should have been a good show. It should have great cast. They did a really good job casting on this show. 2 of the main characters are right out of Game of Thrones. You know, and
Ian Glenn,
a lot
and
of
Mark
Scottish
Cady.
actors. We got just a very pretty young lady. She was in the show Schitt's Creek. She helped manage the motel for the family. She's one of the main characters in the story. I don't know. And there was a nod to the Thing in it, which I liked. I was really kind of surprised. Like, oh, wow. They threw in the whole blood test thing. And you had so much potential with this thing, and then it just sort of fell flat. It was like, I don't know. It's sort of like Christmas morning when you start unwrapping a big box, and then you rip it open, and there's another little box in it, and it becomes like a Russian doll, and you just get down, there's like a fucking bow tie. Not even a good tie, just a bow tie that you know you'll never wear. That's how I felt the show was in the end. So, but I don't know. Look forward to when Anima gets here because I want to go into some detail about it. But I will say one of the things I really liked about it was there's a nice little Easter egg in the movie or in the show. And I was a little surprised by it when I saw it. I'm looking to see if I can find it. Yeah, there it is. Here it is. There's a book mentioned in the film. I mean, in the show, and you see it twice. And it is this book, which I've read, The Kraken Wakes by John Wyndham. There's even a radio drama version. It was written in the 1950s about an unknown creature coming up from the depths of the ocean that's been hibernating. And it kind of also reminds me of what was that movie back in 2007, 2008, where the creature comes out of the ocean, destroys New York?
Cloverfield?
Cloverfield. It kind of had, the book had that kind of feel to it, even though I don't think that was intentional. But I don't know. I was thoroughly enjoying the show at first, despite some stupid things. Like I pointed out in one of my posts on Twitter, I don't know how many of you guys follow me on Twitter, where I said, look, overall, in all the rigs, roughnecks, people who work the rigs, and those are the actual laborers that work on the rigs. Hi, sweetheart. Oh, I can't hear you.
I'm not muted.
Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
You're just very quiet, I guess. Here, I'm going to go into your settings and make sure your volume is up. I'm going to turn you up. There you go.
I don't know what's going on with my volume. Sometimes I'm too loud, sometimes I'm too low.
Yeah, it doesn't get too loud for me until you go, ah, in my ear. But I just showed the graphic that this book was shown twice in the movie, The Kraken Wakes by John Wyndham.
Yeah.
And it's available, I think, on Amazon. You can actually get a copy of the radio drama. And it's not an old radio drama. I think it's a more modern one done by the BBC. And I've been interested in listening to it. Morning, Dork. And but so we got this story where you've got roughnecks. Now, roughnecks are people who work on oil rigs, not to be mistaken with Starship Troopers. And roughnecks are the people who do the labor on these rigs. And they're, first of all, these are hardship tours when you work on oil rigs. You're going to work for 6 months to a year. You're going to be on that rig. That's your life. That is the people you're going to be around. That's the work you're going to be doing every freaking day. And yes, you get days off there, but it's rough. It's not pleasant. It takes people of a certain caliber to be able to survive that kind of work. And there's a lot of unhappiness and disrest on those jobs. But one thing I'm going to tell you is women that work in that industry are usually in the office. Only 5% of all roughnecks or people that work on rigs are female.
Well, the medic also makes sense because she's from the military.
Two characters on this show made sense. But overall, 35% of the cast was female. 5% of all rig employees are women. 35% of this cast was women.
I don't know. We only get to see 3 women, really.
I'm
the company
doing the
representative Rose.
Yeah, I'm doing the math. I did the math.
Kat, the medic, that makes it. Heather, the third one. That's the one that pisses us off because she makes no sense.
Yeah, I know. But I did the math. And that was 35% of the cast. And I was just curious, I wonder why they did that. No, I don't. I know why they did it. Checkbox. We've got 2 characters, like you said, the medic and the lady that manages the rig. She's not the commander.
Can I address something real quick, Gary?
Yeah.
Because people are asking about 6. She can't be here because she has issues with her laptop, and she has a new one coming.
Oh, is that what was going on? Because I was wondering why she hadn't responded.
She can't be here. She responded to me
this
morning. So she can't be here, unfortunately. She was looking forward to it, but as was I.
Yeah, because I thought the show. God, did she tell you anything? What she thought?
No.
Because I really was curious what she thought of the show.
Well,
Yeah.
But anyway,
now what? Hey, that we did this little pause. I have want to acknowledge this. The Dark Knight. It's
Danny
remember.
resubscribed.
Yeah.
yeah, well, this is the thing that I don't like about YouTube. It doesn't give you like a time period to renew. The minute it doesn't go through, your membership is canceled. That's stupid.
Yeah, I know. Mine was when I had to wait for my new credit card. So
yeah. And for him, I'm going to play this because this is perfect for the show we're talking about.
Answer the goddamn question. When are you coming?
Hopefully within the next 48 hours.
48 hours?
I realize you must have gone through hell.
Gone? Bitch, we still here.
That is a great film. Also, because it's coffee morning, here's a coffee one from the same movie, Leviathan.
To trick them into taking it. That way, see, they didn't know what they were drinking. I mean, with us, they would have put it in the coffee.
What are you talking about?
Oh, come on, man.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
We have this news from Joe's.
Breaking, Alec Baldwin and the Armor on Rust are being charged with 2 counts of involuntary. That's what I said. It's exactly what I said. It's either going to be murder 2 or involuntary manslaughter.
He'll get out of it. He'll get a slap on the wrist.
I hope not. He needs to have his fucking ass spanked for all of his stupid shit over the years.
he has money. He's going to get out of it.
You guys are so cynical. Oh man. The one that's freaking me out right now, just let's talk a little bit about stuff outside. Jeremy Renner, if nobody knew, Paramount changed the poster for the show Mayor of Kingstown. Originally, the poster came out. I remember it was promoted, clean-faced. And then they reissued it with his face fucked up. And I still am not sure why. Because I thought he had shot all this season. So, you got anything on that, John?
No, I can't.
I only saw that this morning, the new poster. Because I watched the first episode around, I don't know, about 1 o'clock this morning. I watched the new episode. The premiere of the new season. And with it was the new poster. And I'm like, wait a minute, that's not how it looked. And I went and looked. I'm like, yeah, they changed it. That's so weird. But anyway, also, Julian Sands is missing. A lot of people know him from Room with a View. The two films I know him from were, the two franchise. One was a franchise, his Warlock series.
Yeah.
And he played it for 3 films?
Yeah.
2 or 3. Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then they brought in that other English actor that kind of reminds you of like a dime store version of Julian Sands. And then I knew him from another weird fucking movie called Boxing Helena, which is
I'm not familiar
bizarro film where he cuts the legs off a woman and in order to keep her captured, ownership. He wanted to own this woman, never let her have freedom. And then at the end of the movie, you find out it was all in his fucking mind. None of it ever happened. It wasn't even a letdown. I'm like, holy shit, that was a crazy movie. I don't mind that. Audition did the same thing. The girl, Japanese film with the girl who tortures the guy who was supposed to hire her and didn't. And she lures him into her house and tortures him. And it's very, very gory film. It's very gory. But in the end, you find out none of it happened. It was all in her imagination of what she wanted to do and didn't do. Was it? I didn't know that, Chris. Did you like the film? I love Julian Sands. And what it is he was up in the mountains in California, I think. And they got hit by some bad weather and he's missing. 65 years old, went out in really bad inclement weather, and now they can't find him. 65 is a dangerous age to be going wandering in the mountains in winter. So trying to have those positive thoughts, but as a first responder, paramedic, and all that shit, immediately I'm like, oh man, odds are that guy is never going to be found with that weather. Just highly unlikely. So
we have multiple breaches.
You have breaches. Oh, you mean breaches? I thought you meant like that's your funny way of saying britches. Because you're,
Stop bullying Martine, for fuck's sake.
Never. No, he left. So, but anyway, let's get back to the show.
Oh, the breaches.
Oh, there was a breach. That's right. Let me do the reason.
There were two of them.
Two?
Both by Jeebus.
Yeah, Jeebus is trying so hard to get a video. Give him one.
Hey, man, pull up your breeches.
Open your back door, baby. Loosen your hinges, I'll show you my key.
Front door team and back door team.
There we go.
Tomorrow.
What?
Yes.
Tomorrow. New
Tomorrow?
episodes, Vox Machina.
Oh, I thought that was the 26th. Okay. So, and by the way, guys, just to let you know, I'm going to end the show just a little early. I have a doctor's appointment, and I want to make sure I get to it on time. So, apologies in advance. Bush is here. Who all is here? Let's see. We've got Penny Bill Barkley, Christopher Moonlight, D. Bud Martin, Monkey Jeebus, Lord Thoth, Joe's Atmosphere, The Dork Knight, Zach's, a.k.a. Kyle, Bush McFadden, and sadly not Six today, which I was kind of hoping we would have her because I really wanted to know what she thought of it. I'm curious, Zach, did you watch it, this show? And if you did, do you want to join us and talk about it? John, did you watch it?
Yep. I finished it last night.
Did you feel let down?
A little bit.
I
didn't understand why they did some things, but then again, I see why.
Right?
Like they introduced basically the bad guy
In the third act,
episode
you don't do that.
Yeah, except
it's
that
against
really
the
doesn't
in creative writing to do that.
Except they don't. You got to look at it like it's a series, so they're expecting a renewal.
It was a mistake either way.
But still, they should have
I
given
don't know
us
if
at
they'll get a
least a
renewal
glimpse
because
of that other platform to introduce the guy before
Yeah,
the third
yeah,
act.
an actual critic who knows something about writing, they should really understand structure and writing, would absolutely tear this show apart, which I did.
Yeah.
Not the show itself, but it just felt like the last two episodes, 5 and 6, it felt like the team of writers was completely changed.
Well, they derailed the show in episode 5. And the villain, you've got this fucking unknown entity under the ocean that apparently comes up every millennium or some shit at some sort of they even threw the word epoch into the show, which I like the use of it. But it's like every time there is an earth-shattering destruction of life,
mass extinction event. I think
every mass extinction event,
something like that. Yeah. This entity, whatever this fucking thing is, comes up. And is it playing a part in the destruction? This is something they're still not totally clear about on the show.
Or did they trigger
is it there because it seems to be focused on reinvigorating life, specifically to the I almost did it again. Flora. It seems to be focused on flora.
Chris.
And okay, Chris, see you later, buddy. Yeah, I'm going to be doing medical stuff this afternoon right after the show. But so the thing is that they don't make it clear. And that is the story, is this crew and trying to figure out what they're dealing with. That's the story. And then you've got them, fighting. They're fighting because when you don't understand something, survival is the instinct. You want to stay alive. So they're fighting this thing. And unbeknownst to them, because these are two species speaking different languages, they're not communicating. And the only means of communication you find is that when some of these people come in contact with this bacteria through ash, there's like a moment they're covered in ash because first, the eruptions happen underground. And then you see this really weird fog roll in, thick.
It's spores, not bacteria.
What's that?
It's spores, not bacteria.
Well, it could be bacteria because it's alive. Bacteria.
They call it spores all the time.
They're calling it spores, but you're trying to parse here. It's what it is. It's the same thing. And I'm trying to focus on the story. So they are dealing with this stuff. They don't know what it is. It seems to be sentient, self-aware, and it also seems to be communal in its behavior. And it also seems to be completely aware of humans, although I think it's a little confused by humans because it doesn't know how to deal with them. So when people come in contact with this ash that's been embedded with this spore, they become infected by it. And it seems to overtake their processes. Even though they're still self-aware, unlike the thing, their fight for survival may not be for humans. It may be more for the spores. So there you go. You've got a great concept for a story. Is this a monster or is there going to be a means of figuring this out in the end? And we go through 4 episodes of them trying to figure things out. By the time we get to the 4th episode, a big mistake gets made by this one asshole. He's from Game of Thrones too. He was on the wall. One of the guys, the Scottish guy that was on the wall. And he plays kind of this shithead who seems to be that classic Deus Ex Machina character that is made to be such an asshole that it drives the story forward.
Are you talking about Mark Eddy?
Okay, both of you talked.
No, Mark Eddy is the bad guy. That's Coke. I think he's talking about Lars, the old guy, who is just losing his shit all the time.
I'm talking about the big Scottish old guy that's just a troublemaker. Like everything that he does was designed specifically to push the story forward. That's called Deus Ex Machina. Rather than the story organically moving forward, they have a character created just for doing stuff that's antagonistic. Even though he's not really a bad guy, he's antagonistic. And so you got that stuff going on in the story. And then they get through episode 4, survive so far. They figured out what it is, thanks to the young lady. She figures out that that this stuff is coming from the bottom of the ocean, and it seems to be doing this. But they haven't even figured that part of it out yet. That'll be in episode 5.
She finds out how old it is, because it should have died out with the dinosaurs.
It's ancient.
And they sort of reactivated it.
Yeah, and so and that's the question, what reactivated this? What's causing this? So is this spore a threat, or is it something good? Is it something that we can work with to explain the situation? That maybe this isn't necessary what they're doing. It seems to be a fail-safe thing to restart life on Earth if Earth fails. That's what it seems to be. And
well, it heals
but
wounds
humans
fast,
don't want that because it could mean their extinction. That's the threat.
The thing is, it heals the bodies very fast, but it also makes them reject all anorganic materials. It's good and bad at the same time.
Well, yeah, because it kills the one guy. The one guy took some drugs, and he was covered in tattoos. And when he gets infected, the ink is pushed out of his body, and then he dies in the shower because he drank fucking wood
rubbing alcohol. Yeah, you.
Yeah, it's like so hard up for booze, he drank fucking rubbing alcohol. It's like, way to go blind or maybe die. And I think that's what ends up killing him, because it doesn't know how to reject it out of the body. So it makes it worse, and he dies. And so they discover that there's an infection going on with some of these people. She suspects her boyfriend, who's the wee Scottish actor. And but he seems to be reacting differently than the other guys. One dude fell to his fucking death. He should be dead. But because he's infected, I think that's what saved him. And he eventually begins to heal, and it does. It heals the body. But like if you've got a gold crown or something like, which I thought was stupid, like fillings and crowns are in the semi-inorganic part of your teeth. Yes, there's pulp in your teeth, but it might kick out your filling. But the bloody scene was weird to me, because that's not what would happen because it's in the tooth. It's not in the gums, it's in the tooth. So, but it was still neat. They're showing how this stuff is kicking out inorganic material, making things that were like the tooth that was damaged heals itself. But the other thing that's bad about it is it alters your thinking. This young kid, all he could think about was getting home, seeing his family, misses the people he loves. And then all he can think about from that point forward is must save the spores. Pod people, right? So what you had here is a really good science fiction concept handled by people who really don't know good science fiction. That's one problem. Two, when we get to episode 5, and this is the part we were talking about, it's you get the reveal of the true villain of the show. He's not the true problem. He's just, for some reason, the person that they want you to see as the villain. And his name is Coke. He plays, he's also in Game of Thrones. He played the king that dies at the beginning.
Yeah.
And in the first episode of Game of Thrones. And he plays the part of Coke. So, reveal, episode 5. There's only one more episode after that. The villain of the show. And the reveal is it is a powerful, rich, fat, white guy.
You forgot old.
And old. And it's just like, I was just like, I remember I had a physical reaction. I was like, oh, really? This is what you decided to do? And he makes no sense. We've had no exposure to this character. We've only seen what he caused. He's the one who caused the eruption because he was forcing stuff down into the pipeline, and it caused that eruption that became the ash that was embedded with the spores.
That's what we learned in the last episode. And it's so stupid not to give us any of this in earlier episodes.
It's like
they did.
It reminds me of a middle school kid writing a mystery. And I'm that mystery kid because I was trying to write a mystery when I was in the 7th grade. And I thought it was so neat. But then when somebody read it that was older than me and broke it down what was wrong with it, I was like, oh, yeah, I didn't do any of that stuff. And that's what this show did. It felt like a kid had written it or something. It's just great acting, really good cast, but dumb characters, dumb writing. And I could tolerate it all the way through episode 4 because it felt like they were going somewhere. And then when we saw where they were going, powerful, fat, rich, old white guy.
Well,
the story just fell apart in episode 5.
He's not rich. He works for the corporation.
Powerful. And yes, he works for the corporation, meaning he probably makes a lot fucking more money than you and I.
Well, yeah. Probably
that guy probably has 6 fucking figures. That's rich,
easily.
In my opinion.
Yeah.
So I've never seen that before. Let me guess. He's motivated by, yes, not just prejudice. It is prejudice. It is fear of this thing and what it might do to the company. So he's a company man.
Yeah.
And the only thing I found interesting was that, and I suspected this all along, that the company may have been aware of this, because one of the subplots is, as we find out as they go along, is that they were going to be shutting the rigs down in favor of doing something else. Well, what is that else thing? We don't know. I guess we're going to find it out if they get a season 2. I don't think it's going to get a season 2. I don't think it's good at all. I think the only thing good about this is the acting, and it's the only saving grace.
Oh, the basic
had a real
story's
problem
good. The
with
basic
the
concept.
medic. I don't like when they show medical people, especially military medical people, and the medic on the ship. I don't know why they don't have a doctor, but they have a medic who served in the military, and she is completely always on the verge of breaking down. And she's the last person who should be. And I thought that was weird.
Yeah, but then she's pregnant, so.
Well, I understood that, but that should have put her more of in a fight or flight mode than what she's in. She's always in a state of ennui. The whole fucking show. Like, is she going to kill herself? I kept thinking, it was like, she really is acting like she's going to kill herself. Again, not knowing how to write the character. She did the best she could with what was given her. Everybody did a really good job of acting on the show. Ian is really good as the steward, captain, whatever, the guy in command of this thing.
Magnus.
A lot of little things. The equivalent of leaving your finger in a pistol or machine gun's trigger housing is to walk around outside on a rig without a helmet on. A lot of that. They remembered it like in the first episode for a few minutes,
Pissed
and then
me
like
off
after
so
that,
much
they're like,
because
fuck
that got worse through the show.
I thought one of the other things that bugged me was
Fifth episode when it
like,
finally evacuated. The platform is fucking falling apart and nobody wears a helmet.
nobody has a helmet on. You've got them walking around on clearly a set. At first, I thought they had shot it on the round because it never felt like you were on a location. The lighting wasn't right. And, found out, no, that's not how they shot it. They shot it with green screen. And so it was all enclosed on a set, and it always felt like it was on a set with a lot of 3D CG going on around them. It never really felt real. A lot of the jump scare stuff in it was stupid jump scares. Like, nothing irritates me more than in order to have a scary moment, you have to have a character do something completely humanly stupid. And classic jump scare is like, hey, so-and-so, where are you? No response. Hey, where are you? Full voice, talking loudly. Hey, and then suddenly like, I'm right here. And it's like, really? They did that. They fucking did that. They really fucking did that. They're on a ladder. There's no fucking place to go but up and down. And he can't see his fucking body.
The bomb tower.
They're climbing up the top of the rig, yeah. And they're always supposed to be two-man teams. And for some reason, the fucking Scottish kid, you just don't fucking see him anywhere. And then he's like yelling down, hey, man, hey. Nothing. He goes to step down. Albatross scares the shit out of him. He falls, regains his balance, and the guy's there all of a sudden. Hey, jump scare. And it's like, I didn't jump, but that's clearly what it was meant to do, and it's fucking stupid. I find jump scares insulting if they're done wrong. And, and I hate it when people call jump scare movies horror. It's not. Horror is something that goes on in here, and you have to have a constant sense of it when you're watching the horror film, a constant sense of horror, not a fucking jump scare. Stab. That's what I think of that. And then we get to the final scene, which I thought was really neat, because all this shit is going on and these creatures are moving ahead because the guys that were infected because of the shit that happens on the ship once Coke comes on board. I don't think him being called Coke was a mistake either. Koch brothers. Remember that? And all of a sudden, they're disconnected because of shit that happens. Because Coke is trying to stop this thing, trying to stop it. But he also is doing it at the risk and peril of other people, which is what makes him a villain, if you need to know. What makes him a villain is that he doesn't give two shits about the lives of anybody on these rigs. Not one.
Yep.
He
even flat out says it.
Yeah, he fled the other rig with two people he needed that just happened to be right there. And so they got in there with him. Everybody else was up on. You don't know if he fucking murdered him. You don't know. The whole
he blew
concept
up
of
the
this
platform
character,
to cover his tracks.
Yeah, just
because he failed to do what he was supposed to do, and now he's trying to do it on Kinloch Bravo.
He's trying to do the same thing, and they end up catching him in the act, and they kind of stop him. But They don't, because whatever he's done, it started a chain reaction at the end. And they, and he thankfully is called for an escape. So they all are going to be able to get off the rig. Anybody who's still alive is rescued, except for the young black kid who was infected. And he's going down below to try to basically sacrifice himself to let these things know that they're not the enemy. And he does. I'm assuming he dies, but maybe he'll be protected by this stuff. We don't know.
Well, he steps into like this glowing light, like
he steps into this glowing light. You don't know what it is.
He's trying to get the connection back.
Yeah, he's trying to get the connection back. And they completely lose context of the real story here in the 5th and 6th episodes of that important thing, the relationship between this thing and how they do. And they focus way too much on the other stuff. It's just really weird the way that they did that in this story. And it's off-putting, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work structurally, not just for me. I'm not just saying, wow, it just didn't work for me. Oh, black. I'm sorry. But it's just so weird. The characters in this, some of the decision making they have, and then they, in the final moments, they're escaping. Okay, and a giant tsunami, tidal wave, it's the same thing. Begins moving towards the coastline, and like they're announcing it in the helicopter. It's like, this could kill thousands, maybe millions. Is there anything we can do? There's nothing. And why are we going this direction? And that's when Coke lets him know, you had your chance to go home. And we're going somewhere else. And they're like, oh, fuck. And it's like, oh, wow, really? We're going to Jurassic Park.
The last thing we see is the medic's wife being killed.
It's how it felt. We're going to Jurassic Park. I'm like, we got to go to this other location that nobody knows about, that nobody's talked about. So we don't really know why it's menacing.
I'm sure they're going to another rig.
There's a good chance of that, or they're just going to like a main place where they're going to have to do something. I don't know. I don't see future for this show. It's not interesting enough. And but the final shot, I wanted to wait and not really get too deep into it, which is we cut to the medic's wife's place because she's the only character on land that's important. Everybody else isn't important. It's just this one character. Don't ask me. I didn't fucking write this shit. We cut to her at their apartment in, I'm guessing, France. I don't know where they're living. Because it seems like it's either going to be the eastern coast of UK or it's the western coast of Europe. And this tidal wave's coming in, and they show her get up, slowly walking to the French doors, and reaches for the door, but just looks up, and she's looking up with wide eyes as something, and you could see it slightly through the glass that it's the tidal wave, and it's coming up, and it's so high that it's up over top of her, and that's the cut. Fade to black.
And
yes,
nobody
I said
reacts
black again.
to
I'm
stuff
sorry.
like that.
They fade to black. Black. There you go.
That scene was so bad.
It's nobody fucking gets up and does that. When you see something coming to kill you, you don't slowly walk towards it, looking at it, going, "What's that?" I was just like, "Oh my god!" It's like nobody on this knows how to write drama. This is how I think I would react to that. And it's like, no, why don't you look how the average person reacts before you write it down? Yeah, suddenly went dark. There you go, Shanatsky. I got to tell you, my reaction to the show is very annoyed. I can't, and I had to watch it twice because I watched it with Anima too. And I just felt
you wanted to. I didn't make
yes,
you.
because I wanted to spend time with you and I wanted to experience it with you. I wanted to be with you when you experienced it, to see if you had the same experience as me. And of course,
before we started watching it, he already showed me what happens in episode 5.
Yeah, I showed at the beginning.
Bad guy comes on board.
It's
So
like,
I
reveal
knew where
who's
it was
the
going to
villain.
fall apart. Yeah.
Powerful,
It
rich, power hungry.
Bad at the beginning.
Not just powerful,
really
but
not
power
that bad.
hungry.
Yeah.
Rich, fat, white, old dude is the villain of the story. Even though, what the fuck does he have to do with this entity? That's the threat. This entity is the threat. Don't
But he
get
is sent
distracted.
to kill it.
He should have been a minor character
Yes.
that they should have either killed or should have been killed. As they say, hoisted on his own petard.
Well, I really enjoyed it when they are about to. So the Indian guy who comes with him on the lifeboat, they're both on the bridge or control room or whatever it is. When the rich guy, the bad guy, tells him the helicopter's coming. And
Yeah, he's revealing.
He
The villain is revealing his
microphone.
plan.
Yeah, and he activates the microphone so everybody on the platform hears it. And when they are approaching the helicopters, because now everybody knows the helicopters are coming, the guy that annoyed us so much, that Lars, the old fart, who's losing his shit all the time, he just knocks him out, and I enjoyed that. That scene was good.
Yeah, that was I kind of referred to that as the Blair scene from The Thing, when Blair's like, "I'm just gonna bring it all down," and fucking McCready just pounded him in the face as his Childs. Childs wanting to get his shots in on Blair. What the fuck? Was that you, baby?
Yeah, I opened my phone and I was on YouTube.
Oh, whoops.
I closed it. I don't know why it was open.
Yeah, because I heard the click and I'm like,
I just wanted to check.
you're like,
what it
oh
was.
shit. But I don't know. Did any of you guys watch it in the chat?
Well, Bill did it.
Look,
watches
I gotta
everything.
tell you, the effects in this were not good. I think the effects in this were substandard for the kind of quality show they were trying to put out. But again, I want to point out some really good scenes. I want to point out some good stuff. And I think, let me go look at this. The Rig cast. If I can show you. Martin Compston plays Fulmer. He's one of the guys that's kind of infected, but kind of not. He seems to not have been impacted by the infection, the same as others.
Well, he only cut his hand a little bit. The other guy,
Yeah,
he
he
had
cut his
massive
hand. It
wounds
was more
from falling,
passive
so-
infection. Again, reminding me of The Thing. He had cut his hand on the lifeboat, and some of the ash was there, so it was on his hands. And he noticed later that it's healing, and like quickly. Some of the healing effects were really cool. I thought that was good. It's the CG effects that was really bad. I never felt like I was on a rig. I never felt like we were in the ocean. I never felt like any of the sunlight was natural. It all
The
looked
water
fake.
wasn't good.
Water effects were bad.
Terrible.
When they used real water, it looked good. But when they were using the CG water, it looked awful. The effects with the entity, these spores and the rings they create, because that was a nifty premise. Because they're trying to figure out why rings. And there's a shot that if you aren't paying attention, you'll miss it. When Ian, what is that guy's name? Ian Glenn. Great
Magnus
fucking
is the
actor. I
character.
love that guy, man. He is standing next to a window and there's ocean spray or rain on it. And when they cut to a certain angle and the camera moves, there are rings in the water droplets. And I was like, oh shit, that was neat. Why is that there? No explanation. But there was neat stuff like that in there. And that's the kind of stuff what does JJ call that? The mystery box. You've got to have a mystery box. If you're going to have a mystery with a mystery, what?
Yeah. And Boz had made the circle in the condensation.
Is that what it
when he's
was?
Well, there's
Baz was drawing them.
Yeah. Yeah, he drew the circles when he's up with the hippie guy.
Oh, I didn't catch that. I was really thrown by that.
No, Baz was drawing the circles. And then Fulmer does it too when he goes to help Rose and the stupid female character with the research.
No, I'm sorry, I was reading.
And then they find circles on the ocean
I'm going to leave about
floor.
15 minutes early, so the show will be an hour and 45 minutes because I've got to get prepped and ready to go to the doctor. Yeah, somebody didn't you post that before?
No, that was Bill or that was somebody else did that.
Somebody else. It's like almost identical. I'm like, wow, that's weird. Like, did I just have a deja vu? Are we in the Matrix?
It is kind of a deja vu, yeah.
Like, holy crap, that's like worded exactly the same way. But yeah, and he deserves it. I hope he is charged and found guilty of it because he did. That's a huge no-no what he did. No amount of money should get you. I mean, fuck that crazy psycho music producer from the 60s. He fucking went to prison. He was rich as fuck.
Phil Spector.
Yeah, Phil Spector. That dude's crazy. He fucking murdered that girl.
Joe brought it up earlier. That was Joe.
Which one?
Yeah.
Oh, brought up Phil
Alec
Spector?
Baldwin stuff.
No,
Alec
Baldwin.
That was who it was.
Yeah.
That's why, because he probably copied it from the same article. There you go. So the movie, the show is basically it's a long movie. That's how I look at these shows. It's each show in a series technically should be encapsulated. It should be its own little story arc. But this is not. It's one long story arc, and so therefore I look at those as mini series. It's not really a series. It's not episodic television. We call it an episode, but it's not really an episode. Blown from the start, cops questioned Baldwin for 2 hours, then released him. Yeah, I don't even want to get into that. Yeah, there's a lot of stupidity. The FBI got involved with it. I know that, and they absolutely said, and I don't trust the FBI at all. People go, "Hey, Gary, do you watch the FBI shows?" No, I don't. Because today's FBI is embarrassing. Oh God, am I on a watch list now because of saying that? I do too, Shinansky. I miss episodic TV. I like episodic TV. I had a dipshit try to argue with me one day about shows dropping down to 13 and 6 episodes. And I said, my problem with that is, you don't get to build the relationship with the characters like you did when we were growing up. TV shows when I was a kid, Perry Mason, 32 episodes a season. I think 27 is the perfect number for shows because that gives you a full half year of shows and then repeats for the other half until the new season. But they keep doing this and they spread them out. You'll go for weeks without seeing a show. Bob Hart's Abishola is one of those examples. Weeks without seeing an episode because they have to spread it out. It's dumb. The thing about building a rapport is a great example is Star Trek with Spock, McCoy. Imagine if they'd only done like a handful of episodes of Star Trek per season. We would have never built that relationship with those three, the holy trinity of science fiction: Spock, McCoy, and Kirk. Spock and McCoy and Kirk would have stayed the main characters, and McCoy would have never probably made it to the third star of the show, the second season, which is when they started putting DeForest Kelly's name in the opening titles of the show. And this guy goes, "Yeah, but you look at how many weak episodes there were of that show, because the writing is weaker when you have to write more." I said, one, that's a dumb theory. It's a dumb theory. Shows are going to be good or bad on their own merit. It has nothing to do with how many episodes they have. That's just dumb. You can have a show that has great episodes during the season, and then you're going to have shows that, like, every once in a while, one episode's not as strong as the other. But what's important is the building of the rapport between the characters that make us love them. And those weak episodes that you like to bitch about or complain about are also episodes where those characters are still building that relationship. And they have great moments in those dumb episodes. Even Spock's brain has great moments between McCoy, Spock, and Kirk.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a terrible fucking episode. So that's just my criticism of television today. I think it's studios and networks trying to save money. And it's just dumb. I like it to get back to episodic TV when it was fun. I watch the shit out of Perry Mason, the classic episodes. I sleep to it. It's a talking head show. And so that's really good for my subconscious when I'm sleeping. But 32 fucking episodes. And I said this to Anima. I said, I woke up to Perry Mason one morning, and it was an episode I'd never seen or hadn't seen since I was an adult, because I had no memory of this episode of Perry Mason. And I sat there. I was supposed to be doing stuff, getting ready for the show, doing other things, doing artwork. But I sat there and I watched that 45-minute episode because I'm like, oh my God. And it was so neat. And it was not one of the greatest episodes, but it was fun. It was always good. I loved seeing it was from season 1. And this is back when Perry, what's her name? Della and the detective, I just forgot his name, were still young. They were, Perry hadn't gained the weight yet. He was very svelte, and Della looked like she was in her 20s, By the end of the show, 9 seasons, they all looked a little haggard. And Raymond Burr had gone through multiple surgeries. In fact, he had missed 3 or 4 episodes of season 6 due to a surgery. And they had other actors come in to play lawyers to take his place. And he would do consult calls with him for one appearance in the show. But that was TV. I still think 32 is too much. I think that 27 is perfect because that's half the year. You get half a year of shows and then half a year of reruns.
Yeah, I like I like an overarching story line on
Well, that's the growth. The overarching story is the character growth. I think that is it. The progression of the characters in their timeline. But with episodic TV, you only get that as a secondary thing. If you focus too heavily on it, it's no longer episodic TV. And you want it to be episodic. Episodic means the story arc is in the story, not over the series. I get what you're saying, John. I get what you're saying, but too much focus on that can really hurt you. And I think that the 2-parters are where they do that. I like 2-parters. I mean, the best Star Treks, in my opinion, of Next Generation were 2-parters. In fact, I would say the best Star Trek was a 2-parter, The Menagerie.
Yeah.
That was, in my opinion, the single greatest episode of Star Trek. And the Next Generation, Best of Both Worlds, Yesterday's Enterprise, and what was the other one that was really big? The one where they went up against the Borg and Data's brother Lore was a 2-parter.
Yeah, I don't remember the name of the episode.
I don't remember that one either. I think that was season 6 and 7, the final season. Yeah. And great fucking shows, man. I love the 2-parters. And that's where you get the overarching story. You do get little things with the characters that are important. Like you see that character grow. And they tried to do that with Perry Mason, by the way. They introduced this character, David, in season 6. He was in an episode earlier in the season playing a dickhead, bullshit, asshole kid. And then they bring him back as another character 2 or 3 episodes later, because they would do that. A lot of the villains and stuff were the same actors every season. Just the actors coming back. And I love that, actually, do you remember the movie Flowers in the Attic back in the 90s?
Yeah, and the book.
The actress that played Nurse Ratched she came up doing a few episodes of Perry Mason, playing different characters. She was in like 3 episodes. And I spotted her. I'm like, holy crap, she was a dish. But episodic TV should not be, I don't think the overarching story arc should be vital. I think that it's the character arc that's important to episodic TV. But when you have a mini series like this show, The Rig, there should be an overarching story arc, from beginning to end, as well as the character arcs. You've got to see growth of the character, changes within the character. It's necessary for you to. Jessica Fletcher, yeah, Bush, that's the lady. Yeah. Law and Order, yeah, Law and Order was a good show early on. It's crap now. Dick Wolf he's no wolf and he is a dick. Can't stand the guy. Kitty Bear, Shinatsky, Ford is back. COD, Bush McFadden all have joined us. Good morning, guys.
Jessica Fletcher is Angela Lansbury's character on Murder, She Wrote.
Then what am I thinking?
It's Louise Fletcher.
Louise Fletcher. Thank you. It rang true. Jessica rang true. Yeah, Louise Fletcher. Great actor, actress, actor, same thing. I don't like actress. I think that actors should be non-gender. I think it's weird that.
Yeah, like doctor, right?
Yeah, it's doctor. You don't say doctoress. It's weird as fuck. Although when I was in one of those other things,
in Spanish
you learn about me as you get to know me is I was put in a foster care system. All my siblings were, except for the ones that were adults. 2 of them had lives as adults. The rest of us were put in foster care. And I got put into a really nice home the second time. And it was run by a husband and wife. Both of them were professors at the university. They worked together at Eastern Illinois University. And their name was Doctor. So it was Dr. and Dr. The Doctors. That was her real name. I always thought that was so cool. Yes, it did. I was talking about that just the other day. That was the only episode of Murder, She Wrote that I ever watched. It was that episode, the Magnum PI crossover. Sugar Lumps. What's Sugar Lumps? I missed something.
Oh, it's
Dr. Red.
Dr. Red. Then Monkey says, you call them nerds.
That's like one of the most common tropes used with women in the medical field. It's like calling a female doctor nurse. I'm not a nurse.
Yeah, I'm calling a male nurse doctor.
Get out of here. Although, it's like I've had male doctors, female doctors. I don't give a shit. When requested, I've disrobed to do whatever they need to do. Enough. People who get uncomfortable, that's weird.
And then the doctor tells you to change your type of underwear.
No, didn't tell me to change my underwear. Told me to wear underwear because I'm like a lot of guys. I like going commando. And the doctor said these exact words: "You're not 18 years old anymore. Wear some underwear." I'm like, when I was 18, I wore underwear. What the fuck does that even mean? I wore underwear until I was in my mid 30s. I got sick of it. I like that freedom.
She just recognized how childish you are, Gary. That's all.
Thanks, Bill. I actually felt that way too. I got so energized from yesterday's shows. Such great panelists, having Chris on both shows. And I love having John on. John's a great guy. I've become friends with these guys. And I find it really funny that I get to fuck with John Bradberg, the fucking rocket scientist. He's an astrophysicist. I fuck with him all the time. I said, got a fucking degree in rocket science. He's a fucking astrophysicist. Can't figure out how to get on a show.
It always cracks me up that he says nuclear instead of nuclear.
Yeah, he does. He says
fucking physicist.
Nuclear, which is really weird when somebody says it. And he is educated, and I've seen other educated people do it. And it's weird. It throws me off because the word is not nuclear, it's nuclear. It's new, N-U, clear, C-L-E-A-R, nuclear. Doctors are like, what is it? What was it? Are like, wow, you fixed it yourself. Yeah. Years ago, I had an STD. Been there, dude. From a walk-in clinic I always went to. The doctor was a woman. She told me her daughter was single and in college while she was Q-tipping the dog. Oh my God. Yeah, that is like, that is, yeah, I don't know what to tell you, buddy. I don't know what to tell you. That's fucked up. I had to do that test too when I was in the Army. And at first I thought, because I knew I'd done the test myself to others. And so I'm like, I asked the doctor, you want me to just rub now? And he goes, no, you don't have to worry about that. I went, oh, okay. We're going to draw blood? This is weird. And I'm sitting there and he's talking to me. And then finally he turns to me after he's got everything prepped and he goes, okay. And he's holding a big, long wooden dowel, about that long, with the cotton swab on the end. Says, okay, go ahead and just rub and pull it out. And with your other hand, hold the end open. And I went, you're just going to really put me through hell, aren't you? And when he started the process, I began singing really loudly, "The Hills Are Alive" with the sound of music. Nurse cracked up laughing. And I was not even trying to sing. I was just bellowing out the words. Kept rubbing alcohol. You'll be fine. There you go. Yeah, they're not. It's a smooth kind of wood. Yeah, it's not going to happen. Well, you probably had it done. Mine was done in like 1990, dude. Back in the old days. But anyway, I don't know what's going on there. I need to change that.
No, Bill, not all episodes, just the first 3.
First 3 what? I didn't catch it.
Of Vox Machina. Says,
No,
by the way,
and you're saying it's going to be 3 episodes a week?
Yep.
That's actually good. That'll help us with the show. That way we can focus just on Vox Machina. And smooth wood. Yeah. Mahogany, as that priest said in Vampires. They didn't use plastic in a lot of stuff until really the late 90s. Because it was cheaper to use biodegradable stuff like wood. And so a lot of medical stuff like that, they still use wood. What do they call them? I forget the name of it. They're for using in old people's mouths to clean out their mouths because they've got like people with Alzheimer's and you got to make sure their mouths are clean for them and you can't brush their teeth because they could choke. So they have these lemon swabs that you would take and you would scrub out their mouths to, clean their teeth and their gums. And now they're plastic, but back when I was in nursing in the medical field, it was wood. I don't even know how to touch on it. And if I touch it, I feel like I should ask it first, if it's okay if I touch it, the Mando trailer. Tell me, Mando, where'd the fan touch you? It touched me on my baby Grogu. On the Nashville, we had Dr. Fagerlin with kielbasa. Oh, God, people with big fat fingers, yeah. Who would want to do prostate. Oh, yeah, that's like, you're gay after that, dude. Get a prostate exam from sausage fingers like that, dude. Yeah, you've officially become gay. But I got to tell you, I watched the Mando trailer. I liked it. I enjoyed it. I'm not going to pay for Disney Plus. I'll watch it by other means. I'm not going to give them a number because as much as I love Favreau, fuck Disney. They've done too much damage. John left. And then it was just me.
No, I'm here. I'm just off camera because then it's slightly better. But as soon as I turn my camera on, the stream is just freezing all the time. My Wi-Fi is so bad.
I was noticing the pixelation and breakup. And Lord knows I don't want to break up with you.
It's a bit better better when I'm off camera, but it still sucks. That's why I'm so silent all the time. Because I never know if I talk over you, because I have a delay sometimes. So it's annoying.
Yeah, I agree. By the way, Bush, nothing funnier than at MEPS when three of us walked out in a row from the exam, the physical exam, walking funny. And then I said, I didn't mind the mag light until I realized they were going to put it in.
Sorry, I had to adjust my mic, my mic arm. It was starting to come off. So,
oh man, I hate it when things come off. I am keeping up with Bad Batch. I do like it. I like that show. I only got the first 10 minutes of the latest episode. I think it was yesterday. And I figured, this evening I'll probably watch it. I should introduce Anima to it because I think you'd enjoy that show.
I was going to ask.
I really do enjoy it. It's a continuation of Clone Wars by George Lucas and John Filoni.
Dave Filoni.
Dave Filoni. And as much as I think that he's I don't know if he's woke. I just know that he bends to woke. And I don't like that about him. He's too flexible. Good storytellers and showrunners shouldn't be overly flexible. And we learned that when he went to that feminist convention thing and spoke and said some things that were just fucking stupid.
When I saw that convention, the word Vichy came to mind.
No, Bush, it was a prostate exam, but we made it sound like they stick a finger up your ass. And they didn't do that. They just looked. They did the whole, turn your head to the left and cough. And, but we acted like they did a prostate exam. We thought that would be funny, internal prostate. And, yeah, they checked my prostate for sure. Yeah, what they're really checking too for is hernias. That's why they'll cup your fucking nutsack, man, and put their fingers right up into your taint, and they go, turn your head to the left and cough. The only reason why they do this so you don't cough right in their face because they're like right in front of you. And yeah, that's, I don't know. I always consider it an awkward moment for me, having a doctor grab my fucking balls, cup them. Like, what the fuck?
But Gary
buy me a drink first, for Christ's sake.
Gary enjoyed the prostate palpitation.
Oh,
I've not had the exam. I'm supposed to do it. I haven't done it.
I haven't either.
Your timing is off, Martin.
It's okay.
And you didn't tell me. You should scold me before. So
I'm sorry. Fucked Wi-Fi. Blame that.
Good evening and welcome to
I feel like I'm missing
of
out.
the film.
Well, it's not the middle. We're going to actually probably end here in about 22 minutes. I'll end at the half hour. I think we've said all that needed to be said about the rig. It's a very disappointing show. I don't think we'll get a second season. I don't think word of mouth is going to be good. The only people that like that, and I hate saying this because I get this all the time. Like, I'll say something critical of something, and someone goes, "Well, I really liked it," and I'm like, "That doesn't mean it's good." And they go, "Well, it doesn't mean it's bad either." I said, "I don't dislike stuff unless it's bad." So yeah, and they'll go, "Well, that's just your opinion." I said, "This is where it goes from being opinion and being professional opinion." I'm doing a breakdown and explaining to you why it's bad. You can still like it, and it's okay to like shitty stuff. People like shitty stuff. But I tell Danny all the time he likes stuff, and I said, you are absolutely the last person I would go to get the opinion on the show before watching it. I said, I love you, man, but you have terrible taste in shows, and you like just really bad.
But the difference is, I know they're bad. but I don't care because I found enjoyment in it.
Yeah, there. And I've done that too. I'm a big fan of the first Killer Tomatoes movie. I love that fucking movie. I even laughed my ass off at the second movie, but the first one, that was just awesome. Attack of the Killer Tomatoes. What a great fucking movie. George Clooney's in the second.
Giant fake tomatoes rolling down the road.
It's just so fucking dumb. And you know what's funny is Critters. When you see the giant one rolling, when I saw that, it made me think of Killer Tomatoes. I'm like, because I love the Chiodo brothers. I'm actually friends with one of the Chiodo brothers. And that's one of my favorite films is Critters. I actually enjoyed the first three. I enjoyed all three of the first films. After that, don't care. I didn't want to watch the series. It came out in a period when things were just starting to get heavily woke, and I assumed it was probably woke, which is why it didn't last. Furry tomato, yeah. Yep, that's right. He did get a cartoon series. I think the funny one is when the black guy is going to act like he's going to eat another person. He's trying to blend in with them, and he puts ketchup on the dead body.
You forgot to whisper again.
Oh my god, that's so funny. Blacks. So I think I took that off. I don't think I have it on here anymore. Yeah, I took it off. I'm like, we don't need it anymore. I got that. I ran it all the way till it's just like, we're not going to do that anymore. But I'll never get tired of this.
You gotta be fucking kidding.
Boom. Yeah, I wish the show had been better. The rig.
I was hoping they would show more of the destruction of the tidal wave. That's what I was there for.
I think that the problem with the show is it didn't know what it needed to be, and it didn't have the budget for what it was. Yeah, I always tell people, when you go in for that exam, don't get nervous until the doctor puts both hands on your shoulders. Then get nervous.
Yeah.
So I guess I will tell you some cool things. I talked with Scott yesterday, and I told him, I said, I found an affordable way to do a backdrop behind me that I like, because I keep doing the digital because I like it better. I'm going to get one of those cool room divider things, set it up behind me, and put sound tiles on it. Do a cool pattern on it, and just put that right behind me, and that way it'll, because there's a bit of an echo in here. You can't hear it, I don't know, but I hear it. It drives me crazy because this vaulted ceiling, it just it really sucks on some days when it just all I can hear is the echo in here. And I like to get more like an actual studio while I'm working in here. But let's see, anything else? I haven't seen the video clip of Remember Sully when I said I'd kill you last for a while. I don't think I have it anymore. I don't think it's on there. Sully, remember when I told you I'd kill you last? That's right, Matrix. You said it like you. I lied. Yeah, there's all my Schwarzeneggers. Nope. All I got is this one.
Dylan!
I got that one.
You one ugly motherfucker.
Oh, no, I found it. It is here. So, to everybody's enjoyment.
Remember, Sally, when I promised to kill you last?
That's right, Major. You did.
I lied.
In the next line, she goes, "Where's Sully?" He goes, "I let him go." God, the one-liners. He took the James Bond one-liners, man, and really made a career of it. Oh, wait a minute. I had a super gay phlebotomist. What? Okay, I just got a news notification. Let me see what this is. It had to do with Alec Baldwin. I'm sure it's the same fucking article. It pops up. I clicked on it, and then nothing happened. Fuck you, Microsoft. You assholes. Yeah, I'm done. It's like there's like we went through the show really in about 45 minutes, the entire series. It just there's really nothing to really add to it. Good acting.
I could have done a more detailed summary, but it wasn't really needed. So.
No, this show didn't deserve it. It really didn't.
No.
If you're gonna watch it, at least just say watch it for the acting. And if you've already got Prime, you're not paying extra to see it. Just go ahead and watch it. But I'm just telling you, you're going to be disappointed by the ending. It's heading in a direction until it hits episode 5, and then it goes in a whole new direction. It's almost like, and you said it best, it's almost like, did they fire the writers and bring in a whole new team of writers for the last?
That's what it feels like.
Yeah, it's completely disconnected. It's completely disconnected from the story of the first 4 episodes.
Well, they did hint at what was going on with the injecting stuff, because they had the crates that no one knew what was in them, and they were locked up, and they had the that device that was new that nobody knew, was installed on the last update.
Yeah, and
last upgrade.
And stuff gets lost in the mix because we don't find out some of the story. You introduce Coke. Coke should be a guy that should be affable, and you think he's a good guy until the cards are down. And there should be a bit of mystery about him. You should have met him in the first fucking episode. And there should have been anxiety over well, what do you mean things are happening? Well, I'm going to be heading to your rig later. That's a scene that should have taken place. That we're going to be meeting over on your rig to explain the new equipment, all that stuff. That should have been a conversation in episode 1. So they don't make the biggest mistake in fucking creative writing, introducing a major character after the first act.
Yeah, all they do is when the fog
do that.
When the fog clears, you see that the other platform has been destroyed. But that's all you get. And I think they should at least have given us a glimpse of
there
what's happening.
There should have been a build-up with a question
them.
mark of what is going on. It's like, there should have been more scenes of them trying to contact the other rig. It's almost like passive how they're trying to reach somebody. What I loved in The Thing is you got Windows sitting at that desk with that fucking microphone. Outpost 31 to McMurdo. Is anybody there? And then somebody goes in there. You need to talk to somebody. Goes nobody's talked to anybody in weeks. Somebody, and the frustration, anxiety, it's lacking. It's lacking in the show. And it's like I said, somebody had a good idea, nifty idea, and then didn't get the right writers for it. I'm assuming that they were hired off of checkboxes instead of.
It has nothing to do with the Abyss. I don't know why you keep bringing up the Abyss. It's a completely different premise. These aren't aliens.
Well, yeah, those are aliens that live at the bottom of the ocean. This is something else.
They're not aliens.
And even though there is a point where you kind of wonder, is this Earthbound? But I think what it is a switch that when things go wrong with this planet, there's an organic switch that restarts everything. I thought that was kind of nifty, that there's an intelligence beyond our own that sleeps or lays dormant, whose only function is to do this. That's all they do. And then they go back to sleep. I don't know. But I found it interesting, one thing that I wish they'd gone more into, because I was explaining to Anima that if you, an expert was talking about, a linguist was talking about that if we're able to transfer their thoughts into words, we wouldn't understand a fucking thing they're saying. It would be gibberish to us. And it's reminiscent of that episode of Star Trek Next Generation where the walls of Jericho have fallen. You know the episode I'm talking about, where Picard is stuck on this planet with this guy that speaks in metaphor. And finally he understands that. And what needs to happen. I understand you now, and that's sort of what would end up happening with animals, because like dogs try to communicate with us all the time, and they have interesting ways. And I love the little push button things, where they can walk over if they want something, they hit a button. My favorite one is the one that says bitch. And I just started laughing when I watched that video of that dog getting irritated with its owner. It wants a snack and she's just not responding. And he starts hitting the bitch button. I'm like, that's fucking funny. I don't think he understands what bitch means. It's just that's funny to me because it's like, I don't know. They show dogs watching movies. Have you ever seen that where dogs watch a movie and they're emotionally reacting to what they're watching?
Yeah. Did you see the one barking to Darth Vader at the?
Yeah, Darth Vader. Lion King one is a new one where this one dog, it's a little female pity, and she's watching TV, and it's the scene when Simba, not Simba. What's Lion King's dad's name?
Mufasa.
Mufasa dies. When Mufasa dies, and the dog goes woo, getting all upset because the lion is upset finding his dad and all that. And I'm like, what's he reacting to? Because I don't know, because I do know that they understand death. Dogs do understand death, and they mourn. Dogs mourn. One of the famous Japanese Akita dog would go and meet its master at the train station every day, and then he had the heart attack, and the dog continued going there until it died. And it was so touching to people that lived there. They put a fucking statue on the spot where the dog would sit.
Yep.
Statue of the dog in memory of that dog. Not the professor, but the love and devotion of that fucking dog. Dogs are amazing.
Cats more
too. They do seem capable of, I think dogs are empathic, of course, that they sense emotional changes in people. They are definitely tuned into us at a microscopic level. Because we've also heard dogs that can sense asthma attacks and what do you call it? Anxiety attacks and seizures before they happen.
You can get diabetics that have that they're
that
on
too,
insulin.
the blood sugar. They sense.
Yeah.
They can sense the blood sugar because it's like I told my kid once, Benjamin, when he was little, and we were talking about how good the human smell is, and we're at McDonald's, and he goes, "I can smell things." I said, "Yeah." I said, and here's what's neat about dogs. I said, you and I can smell like the ketchup. We can smell the mustard. We can smell the beef cooking. We can sometimes smell some of the sauces. I said, but a dog will walk in here and it can smell each individual spice that's in the seasoning or in the, the sauces. It can break down every individual scent in their nose because their noses have all these different spots for sensing these things and breaking it down. And it blows my mind when you see how, you want to talk about a super sniffer. Dogs are amazing. And they can smell disease, cancer, all sorts of shit. All sorts of shit. That was a horny dog. We're constantly giving off odors, and dogs have an incredible sense of smells. It's like vision for them. Yeah. I don't know about you, but most guys hate this. And I've had it happen way too many times. Sitting down and a fucking friend or girlfriend's dog walks up and jams their fucking nose right in my crotch.
Yeah.
And I'm like, fuck off, dude. And they're like, oh, I'm so sorry. And I'm like, it's not like I didn't enjoy it. Cats, I know cats who did. My cat did. Oh my God. Ginger, she would watch TV. When I was playing video games, she would sit and watch my character when I'm playing Call of Duty. She'd watch it just real intense. And then sometimes, like, I would get on the keyboard. I have a video of it. I think I showed it to you already, Anima, where
you did.
I was selecting letters. You use the controller to go through the letters on the keyboard on the screen. Fucking drove my cat insane. Batting at the screen, going for each letter that was being selected. And that was funny. She was a great cat. She was fun. She also played fetch like no. Miko did too. My other cat, another Ginger I had. But Ginger was the best at playing fetch. But the minute you crinkled up a ball, she was fucking there. Like, whoa, I'm here. And then you would like throw it, and she would take off, get it, and bring it right back to you to do it again. That was fun.
Yeah.
I never had a cat do that before. And then Miko did it too. Miko loves it when you balled up paper. What's that?
Amelia does it too. I always think that she's a cat running on doggy software.
Amelia
She's
is like
weird.
way too feminine. She's way too feminine. She's like always trying to be adorable. She's got this little chirp that she does. Loki, he's just an asshole. He's like,
He just screams.
He's like,
He's loud.
hey. Because that's all they're doing. When dogs do that and cats do it, they're just yelling hey at you. That's their version of hey.
Yeah, like the other day when we had a video chat and I was on the couch and Loki was just constantly trying to get my attention. It was so annoying.
Oh man. He annoys me too sometimes. Like he'll just get on you and we're like trying to do something and he's like, ah.
Yeah.
He's like the cat version of the penguin. Ah. But Farnsworth came into the show and Andy Morrow. Hi, Andy. What's up? Oh, and Isash Modi is here. What's up, man? Good to see you guys. Yeah, that's it. Let's wrap this shit up. I gotta get prepare for my doctor's appointment. Martine, got anything to add?
No, I didn't watch the show, but
John, anything?
Yeah, I wasn't as critical as you, but I can see, it had a lot of flaws. But I enjoyed the premise.
Yeah, and I think my problem is that once I start seeing something that's a problem, I start getting aggravated by it. And I get angry at stuff that shouldn't be there, things that are being done that shouldn't be done. And I don't consider a flaw with me. It's just the state of entertainment today. I'm so disappointed that there was a time, like, good luck finding really bad films from the 30s, 40s, and going into the early 50s. Good luck. Because even the B movies were good. They put quality in there. They spent time hiring actual writers that knew how to write. So, I mean, sit down and watch any Wallace Beery movie and tell me you can't walk away from that going, that was a really good film. The Champ is one of my favorites with him. That one in Steamboat Willie. Good stuff. Yeah, it's not autism, motherfucker. Did you wax? No, I didn't, Jay.
Oh my God, guys.
That is so funny.
I have one more issue with this show.
Okay, let's hear it.
To give my closing thoughts. Don't fucking end the first season with a cliffhanger unless you know you're being renewed. I hate it when shows do that, and they went and did it.
Thank you. You and I talked about that when you end a show, it should have an ending. It should feel like an ending. Even though we know that this might continue and be something else, end it. Show that she's killed or show that she's not. And then that's the cliffhanger. Why weren't they killed? Why did it stop? Like in The Abyss, because they did do that in The Abyss. The aliens stopped it. And Bill, you're correct in that when you brought that up, because they use the same premise or plot points from The Abyss. They used The Thing and they used The Abyss for this show. The difference was, I don't think it was very good. I think the acting is the best part of this show. Visual effects, not good. The only visual effects I liked in it were the underwater scenes with the rings. I thought that was neat.
I like the spores in the production module with the plants.
It seems like, they're doing an effect that they mastered 20 years ago, doing particle effects. Particle effects were mastered almost 20 years ago to where, oh, wow, we're doing it now. Wow, that's great. I felt like I had a problem also with the fact that they're walking around knowing this thing's there. Not only walking around a rig without hard hats on, they're walking around with no real protection.
Yeah, right. This weird fog comes that is not natural, and nobody thinks about protecting their.
The first thing I think when I see something like that out on the ocean after something is going wrong is that's not a natural. First, that's not natural. That may be a gas.
Yeah, so mask up.
Everybody put protective gear in. Get into enclosed rooms that are completely air sealed. Do not breathe this air. It's the first thing I would do. But anyway, that's because, real people do things. I mean, sure, there are stupid motherfuckers on the planet. That's why you have the, what do they call that award down in Australia? The
Darwin Award.
Darwin Award.
Yeah.
And people go like, that guy should be nominated. I'm like, he survived, so he can't be. The Darwin Award is for people who were fucking so dumb they died.
Before they reproduce.
Yeah.
Before they reproduce. That's important also.
Yeah. So, but anyway, I want to thank everyone for being here. Penny, Bill Barkley, Christopher Moonlight Productions, D. Bud Martin, Monkey Jiba, Seko Kamakan, Lord Thoth, all hail Lord Thoth, Joe's Atmosphere, The Dork Knight, Zach's, a.k.a. Cal, and Bush McFadden. Ford is back, COD, Shinatsky, keeping an eye on you. Kitty Bear was here, Isash Modi, Andy Morrow, Farnsworth, Cavatini, cocksucker. I would like to get you his fucking name and not fuck it up. Cavatino Calverman Che. Che, change your fucking name. No, don't do it, dude. I love your name. So Zach's always good to see you. I wish you could have joined us. I feel bad that Six wasn't here. I wish you could have joined us because I'm really curious. She might have been like John, had a different reaction than you and I. Does one kind of Munchausen never appear on here anymore? No, he's popped in here and there. Last time I saw him was about a week ago. I saw him a week ago. But I've also been missing
Tickle Trunk.
Toxic Tuesday. Because this has been crazy. This prepping to go on KGRA, it's been draining. And I've not been available to do the show because of work. And I want to get back there because I love being on Toxic Tuesday. I love doing all our shows, but my favorite show I do is Toxic Tuesday.
I enjoyed the one time I was on there.
Next to that one is the Wednesday shows, the ones I enjoy the most. I think I'm going to start enjoying Saturdays more because we are going to now focus the show entirely on one film or one TV show. And I said, I want Saturday morning fun time to be proactive, never critical. And I don't want to talk about any entertainment news because I'm fucking over it right now. I'm done. After what happened with Warner Brother Discovery, I just want to stop talking about entertainment for a while. And so Saturdays are now going to be focused. We're going to be doing one on Soylent Green. We're going to be doing one on 2 Charlton Heston sci-fi films. Omega Man. Yeah, we're going to be doing some classic TV shows. Just check our thumbnails. They're already on YouTube. You can select to be notified. We have 5 weeks, I think, or 4 weeks. We're going to be this Saturday. We're doing the entire series of season 1 of Tulsa King because I enjoyed the shit out of that show. Enjoyed it. I think Taylor Sheridan is the greatest gift, and Paramount apparently is aware of it, that he is the greatest gift to screenwriting for TV going. And did Farnsworth say something? Did I miss something?
No, I'm just always happy to see him here because he is a Salty Nerd guy who followed over here. And then
fuck Salty Nerds. I'm just kidding. I love those guys. That's my buddy. Yeah, I think it's really funny that Matt just cannot handle you and me. He doesn't understand. He can't figure out the math of how you and I happen.
Yeah, and also I spend so much time here that I don't have as much time as I did to hang out on Discord and listen to them when they do their recording.
That I stole you from them.
No, they don't. He just enjoys shitting on me whenever I jump into the Twitter spaces to listen to them recording. As soon as he sees me, he gives me shit about spending my time on PCM. It's funny.
I know.
I asked him this week, are you ever going to stop? And he was like, no.
I will say this, that it's not the first time that I've stolen a woman from somebody.
You didn't steal me. That's
I
my
totally stole
choice.
you. I totally stole you. You fell in love with me. Oh my God.
This town needs an enema.
Oh, I haven't seen that one in a while.
Yeah, I just thought that would be perfect right there when I was saying something. Anyway, that's the end of the show. I'll see you guys tomorrow afternoon. Tomorrow morning is Coffee with Keith. Hope you guys enjoy it. I'm going to be making the thumbnails this afternoon. I'm predicting it's going to be a good show. So it's Gary's raw masculinity and the poop jokes. Last thing I'll say is my buddy Ben Hendy once said to me, he says, "You're so heterosexual, you reek of heterosexuality." He was a gay friend of mine that said that. He's like, "You reek of heterosexuality." And then we played a game, and it was called Nightmare, and you had to pick a nightmare, and his nightmare was Gary Gay. He wrote it on there. My nightmare is Gary Gay. Fuck you guys. Love you. See you guys later. Bye.